All right, so let's go over these couple trades today. It is Monday, this is the 15th. I want to go over pretty much from 5 o'clock in the morning to 1 p.m. Uh, West Coast time. Okay, so just be aware of that. There was a bunch of good trade opportunities to make some money on there. A couple times you had to pucker up a little bit, but they all worked out. Of the day going through that time, there was 21 trade opportunities and there was 10 that you should have taken. Okay, so plenty of opportunity to make money. Let's get right into it. Okay, I'm going to dive into this charts. And so the first one, now this came in at 5 o'clock in the morning. If you were up a little earlier than that, you would have gotten in at 4:58. That would have totally worked out because it did drop in and boom, first one. But if you missed that one, the next trade opportunity happened at 5:13. Now this is just following these blue crosses down. Everything followed the rules just okay. It was a little pucker up moment. You're like, had to go the price did drop back down, but did eventually come back up, and then you made money on that one. Okay. This one at 537 was a no. Look at this, way past the first, second, third bar after the ribbon crossing, so we don't take that trade. The next one we had was at 606, and this got you in a little bit early when this crossed down, and so this is a great trade to make at 606. All the rules followed, YDL crossed, so that just worked out just fantastic. Again, another one that came in right after that was at 615. And the 615 trade, again, you came in a little bit early, but it worked out. So you actually got in at 611 is where this bar came all the way down, got you in, made money, and then you're boom, out. At 624, I do also want to point out we're getting kind of close to the opening bell. And so just be aware of that price right there, okay? 624 was definitely no. It broke rules. The YDL, so the yellow line, just had too many of them. It went past the ratio, and it was also too close to opening. So this is one where definitely wanted to avoid that one, okay? Again at 643, this is a big bar down. It moved so fast. It didn't. All of the if I could find a filter to catch these things, it's big money because it's a huge movement down in this 1 minute, and my filters would have kept me out of this trade. And so that's okay though. But there was like three that today that's the rules kept you out of these trades. It's okay. There's more, but I don't have a way to catch that just quite yet. I'm working on an opportunity. I'm going to talk to court, so we'll see. Okay, but this was this trade. Again, the rules kept you out of this trade. The next one here was at 703 and 701. There was just too many bars after the ribbon of the crossing, so it just didn't work out that way. So again, avoid this trade as well. Yeah, there's a bunch that didn't work out, but that's just kind of how it works, and you just kind of have to follow the rules because the rules keep you safe from this one. I did examine this trade really well, and it was just ugly. So if you're watching the Tradevate side, you notice that it's just an ugly trade, and how the candles lined up and the lines, and it's better to avoid that, especially on big movements like that. You don't know when it's going to end. You don't want to end up on the wrong side of the big movement. And so just be aware of that. If it looks really ugly, it probably is. And what happened was that those candles cross back over both of the lines on the Tradevate side. So you can't see it on my charts, but on the Tradevate side, it was definitely something that you're like, let's just not trade this one. And so just avoid this altogether. The next big movement down was 825, and this again, no IDL crossing on this one. It was a big movement down, and it's one of those ones that I'm just trying to figure out how to catch that. But I would have missed this trade as well. I did review these bars right here at 840, and again, it didn't touch the price. It never went up to the blue crosses, so you would have been totally fine all through here. I want to point out too is that this one came up here, but let me expand this a little bigger. The blue cross is inside the ribbon, and so you want to avoid these trades because it's just too close and the movement is just too choppy for that. And so I wouldn't have been in. I would have had a place marker in there, but would have sat this one out, okay? But then, so the next trade that we could have there and I looked at this one. This one was actually at 922. Was this guy? this is a decent trade altogether, and it did work out. Nope, just kidding. I just read my notes. The YDL didn't cross. Another one of those big movements that happened, but the YDLs didn't cross there. So it's one of those big movement trades that I would have sat out and just watched it go up there, but that's okay. I follow my rules. Um, 946, next one up here. You had to do this fast. You had to pull it up there pretty fast, and if you didn't, it still would have worked out. But this is one you got to pay attention and then just grab it and pull it up pretty quick. It did work out, but you had to get there pretty quickly. So just be aware of that. Okay. Uh, then you had another back-to-back trade here. This is 10 minutes later at 9:57. This one totally worked out. You just followed right along. If it followed the rules, everything looked good for this trade. Okay. And then the very next trade after that, 10 o'clock, big drop. Again, it was one of those big drop moments. I had a bunch of them today where it just had movement for no particular reason, just dropped or went sky high in just a matter of just seconds. And I don't know how to catch those yet, using the filters I have. I have another trade that I like to do, but using the filters I have, we would have missed that trade, okay? Just moving right along here for the rest of the day. 1022 is a yes. Um, you got to be careful though with this one. You don't want to jump the YDL. If don't anticipate that the yellow line is going to cross both the other ones for the filter, because if you would have got in too soon, you probably could have gotten burnt. Especially I know some of you keep your ATM settings lower. That would have burned you. But if you would have waited to make sure you had a crossing and then got in, you would have made money. Okay, so definitely wait. It's better. Okay, next one here is at 10:30, and this is a no. If the blue, let's see, but if you were slow, okay. So the blue cross here did jump into the bar, which I don't like to trade. You can see that right there. But if you were slow on this one, because it did happen fairly quickly, I want to look back in time, you still would have made money, but just be aware, I don't like it when the blue cross goes into the bar. It usually means that you miss the window of the trade going down, or it's getting choppy. So I just try to exit out as fast as possible, because again, it's one of those spots where I've lost money in the past, and I'm messing with my hair, and it just doesn't work. Okay. That's that trade right there. I did look at this trade as well at 10:51. You actually, this trade would have got you in and had a long enough candle that would have got you out and you would have made money. It doesn't look like it there, but this would have worked out okay. Again, looking at these bars right here, this one didn't do anything. This one's dropped in and would have pulled out. And again, you have the crossing there. Now, but this trade here at 11:22 is interesting because the blue cross wasn't touching the ribbon, wasn't the ribbon, wasn't inside of a bar, and this would have worked. Just want to say that it went up and it was a pretty decent trade, looking back at it. So got to pay attention to where those blue crosses are. Okay. And I know it's like reading tea leaves, as I like to say in the morning, but yeah, that was definitely a tea leaf moment there. So okay, I'm moving right along. That was trade number 17, if we're keeping track. The next one is at this guy right here, 1143. I would have gotten you in at 1142. Actually, this bar did drop down pretty far at 85, 85. It did drop all the way down and then some, then shot back up. You would have made money. It would have been good. If for whatever reason you didn't have that one in play, this guy jumped up here, you would have had to sit that out, okay? The very next trade is at 12:10. This is a no-go, and yeah, based on the bars, they're past the ribbon. And so, but there's one thing I want to talk about though, is that on the my yellow line crossing, it didn't, and that's what I'm having to look at. And there's a couple places that I sat out based on how many bars crossed the ribbon, but the yellow line did go back up, came back, crossed both other lines, and then back up again. And so it would have worked. It would have worked on the other one too. So I got to see how much percentage, or if I take that trade again, I'll just drop contracts and then roll with it. So that's what I see in this movement up here, okay? Because there's a retraction that happened 11:56, and then it came back up here at 12:10. I mean, there's a lot of time between here. So very next trade that happened here was at 12:37, and Same thing. This is the same type of trade where you had a big candle bar down, way past the ribbon trade. The bars past, there's a lot of bars past the ribbon because I like it when it's the first, second, third, sometimes the fourth. But this one was a lot. But again, the yellow line did cross. And so it would have worked. I got to look at that. All right, I believe that was, oh, there's one more before that time. Again, this was at 12:54. Big movement, and the yellow lines weren't even close to it. So I think that was number four. So there was a couple of things I need to do some research on. But overall, I traded early this morning. I ended up getting four trades in. I got a double trade earlier on. I didn't record, and I put it on YouTube. And so, yeah, it was a pretty good morning. Hit my daily goal, what I could do for the time slot, and if you would have stuck around till the rest of the day, there were trade opportunities and more money making opportunities. And so, come joining me at c3algo.com, and let's make some money together. Okay, guys. Other than that, though, have a great day. Say your prayers. And I'll see you next time.